Oh, yeah, good news.
It's 6 o'clock.
US
I
Cellular.
was trying to give good news.
You are good to go.
I'll call it to order again. Please join me in a pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America,
to the republic which stands one nation under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, folks. Come out of executive session.
Make that motion. Second.
All in favor to come out of executive? With that said, we'll vote on executive session 6F, MRS 4056F, Philbrook Fund for 464.62.
Make that motion. Second.
All in favor? Okay. Adjustments to the agenda. We will be going into a Board of Assessors meeting at the end. That's one change. Anything else? Presentations. Looks like we have the Recreation Director, Marcus Benner, gonna give us a presentation on the status of our rec department.
So Julie had mentioned you guys wanted to hear about summer camp, so I put together a little slideshow. I can talk about summer camp till I'm blue in the face, but seeing the pictures is kind of what it's all about. So we had a great summer camp. We ran 7 weeks. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're located at Miller Gym. Tuesdays and Thursdays are our field trip days where we take the kids off site. Week 1, we went to Lake St. George, roller skating, and then we actually took an impromptu trip to Flagship Cinema. Probably don't remember, but the last week of June, we had crazy heat. So that first day at Lake St. George, it was super hot, humidity, bad air quality. The state had recommended shutting down summer camps if you were going to be in a confined space. Luckily, we were already planning on going to the beach that day, so it worked out. But the Wednesday was just as hot. So we ended up taking the kids to Flagship in the afternoon for a little AC break. And then Thursday was our first trip down to Westbrook to Happy Wheels. We went roller skating. Kids had a great time. Staff as well. It's pretty comical to watch the staff that had never roller skated in their life try to teach the kids. We had a good time. Week 2, Tuesday. Tuesday's kind of our swimming day. You'll notice repetition here. This year we rotated back and forth between Lake St. George and Belfast Park. In the past, we used to go to a bunch of different beaches, but we kind of found that these two were our favorites. They both have pavilions, which make lunch easy in any bad weather. They both have good beaches, and they both have awesome playgrounds, which kind of make for a recipe for a great day. Monkey See, Monkey Do was on Thursday. That was our field trip that week. And then we hit up Wiscasset Community Park for lunch and some playtime afterwards. Another great day. Week 3, back to Lake St. George on Tuesday. We did a Sea Dogs game on Thursday. And this was our second year doing a partnership with the Waldo. The kids got to go and do a little mini play in the morning. They worked together. They made their own props, had a good time. And then in the afternoon, they got to watch a movie at the theater. The Sea Dogs game was great. We sat out in right field. And some of our kids got to go down and participate in some camp games ahead of time. It was Parks and Rec Day, so there were about 15 summer camps there. It was quite the quite the scene, but we had a good time. Week 4, back to Belfast Park, and then our biggest trip of the year, we took the kids to Funtown. Anybody's taken their 2 or 3 kids to Funtown, you can realize how hectic it can be. Try to take 45. It's a good time. And then Friday was our annual fire and EMS day. This is something we've been doing for years, well before my time. They bring out an ambulance, they bring out a fire truck, and they get to go over the rigs. The kids get to look inside the ambulance, climb all through the fire truck, and then at the end they play a little water game, little bucket brigade game, and then they open up the top spigot and just douse the kids with water. So it's a good time. And our shellfish warden showed up unexpectedly, so we even got some extra emergency services on hand. Week 5, Lake St. George and Aquaboggan. Aquaboggan's always a fan favorite. The kids love the water slides. Not a lot of pictures from that one. It's hard for the staff to take around their phones because everybody's getting wet because the staff goes on all the rides with the kids. Couple pictures of just our gym days. Like I said, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays are our gym days. And while most of the pictures are of our field trips, most of our time is spent at Miller Gym. So we do, a lot of gym games, lots of arts and crafts. We spend a lot of time outside on the playground. Make the best of it. It's a good atmosphere for them, but 7 weeks in that small gym gets tiresome as we go on. Week 6, Belfast Park and Dewhaven. I don't know if anybody's been to Dewhaven. It's awesome. They have lions and tigers. It's not a huge place, but we get to spend a couple hours there looking at the different animals.
Lions, tigers, and bears on.
I don't know if they have bears.
Where's that? Where's that?
It's up,
Mount Vernon.
the other side of Augusta.
Gone to Grays?
Yeah, we usually go to Grays. This year we did something a little different. So, and then we stopped at Bucher Park on the way home, and had a little lunch. That was kind of a happy surprise. I didn't know how their playground was. I just had to pick a playground in the area for us to eat lunch, and it worked out. They really liked it. Week 7, final day at Lake St. George, urban air, and then last day fun. You could tell I was having a lot of fun in that picture. It wasn't a kid that got me, it was a staff member. So Tuesday was our final day at Lake St. George, and then Thursday we did urban air. That's a trampoline park down in South Portland. Kids absolutely love it. All kinds of stuff for them to do. And then Friday was our last day. We do messy games, water balloon fight, slip and slide, any game you can think of. That picture in the top right of the 2 totes of water balloons, I filled those. There was about 1,000 water balloons, and we burned through them in 3 minutes. So overall, we had a great summer. Not to say weren't a few bumps and broken bones along the way, but you put 45 kids in a gym for 7 weeks and you're bound to have some. We had 60 unique campers and 10 wonderful staff members that made my life super easy. We didn't, most of that, I think had, let me see, there's 2 new hires this past year. The rest of them were all returners from previous years. So had a really great staff and a good camp. So
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
On the staff, you said you get 2 out of the 10 were new.
2 out of 10 were new.
You do like training prior to? Is
Yeah.
there something you have to require to do?
Yeah, we do our mandatory state training or whatever, like fire extinguishers, bloodborne pathogens. They're all CPR
First aid,
certified, first aid,
Yeah.
all that. And then we do some like camp training where it's
Like team building.
team building and just talking through situations. Like, you get a kid that's fallen on the bleachers and cut his eye open, because that's happened. Do we keep the rest of the kids there, or do we get the kids outside so that the EMS staff can take care of the kid, and just what to do in certain situations like that. So we have about a whole day of that. Not unfortunately, but some of our staff, a lot of our staff are either school teachers or in school themselves because they're high school kids. So it really limits, the last few years, it's been like school ends on Thursday and we start camp on Monday. So it's, we get like a Friday or a Saturday to get stuff done, and then we're in the thick of it, start Monday. So I'd love to do more, but I just haven't found a solution on the time for that yet.
Any questions?
Yeah, has the same amount of kids been consistent over the years, or are they increasing?
Yeah, so we've been doing the full day camp for 4 years now. The first year our numbers were down a little bit. They were up from what they had been with the part day camp, but they weren't full. The last 2 years we've been fairly full, about 45 kids per week. I believe we had 60 unique campers both this year and last year. Looking at the revenue I brought in, it was a little bit less this year. So I must have had, just a week or two here or there with a few kids can really affect those numbers with how expensive the camp is.
What does it cost per camper for the whole, if they were to go to everything?
If they pay up front, I think it's $1,100 for a resident. It comes out, it's $165 a week for a resident and $180 for a non-resident. We give a little bit of a discount for if you pay up front for all
And then
7
they
weeks.
have before care and after care.
Yeah,
too.
before care is $35 a week and after care is $40 a week. So, if you're a non-resident doing everything, it's $255 a week, something like that was the most it could be.
Not a terrible deal for you doing it.
No, we do a lot. So
How long is the camp? How long is the day?
So camp itself runs 8:30 to 4. The before care is 7:30 to 8:30 and after care is 4 to 5:30. So we have staff on site from 7:30 to 5:30. But the before and after care I only have about 10 kids that seem to take advantage of that. So instead of having my entire staff there, I have like two or three, to, try to keep a 1 to 10 ratio when we're at the gym, maybe a little better than that. And then when we go on the field trips, it's kind of all hands on deck. Well, how many staff members I can get to go, I send.
Moving on to your soccer, you had a pretty successful soccer.
Yeah, one of our better
I
ones,
saw a report, you had
100,
pile of kids.
127 kids, K to 6.
And that's from not just Waldeboro,
And Friendship.
and there was some Washington kids there.
Yeah, maybe a
too.
few Washington kids. So us and Warren are the two towns in the district that run a soccer program. I don't remember exact, he has a few less than I do, but not a lot. He's got a good chunk over there as well. Union and Washington tend to go his way a little bit. I might get some Washington kids. Washington's kind of split, but he gets all of Union and I get all of Friendship is usually how it works out.
I went to a couple of those Saturday events.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, kids everywhere. Yeah, so K2, the ones you were probably at, there's, what they have, 60 kids? Yeah, 59 kids at K2, so I had 8 teams.
And you as the rec director organize that.
Yeah.
And then you go to get volunteers for
Yeah, I get
coaches.
volunteers to coach. And yeah, that's the one sport I don't coach my own kids in, because I'm in charge of the whole program by myself. So.
But getting ready to get into the basketball season, I assume.
Yeah, so K2 basketball starts the end of January and runs through the beginning of March. So we usually have 40, 50 kids in that as well for just K2. The 3rd through 6th graders are still run through Madomic Youth Basketball, and they've already kicked off their season.
And as far as your volunteers for the basketball program, are you looking okay?
I haven't started yet. Usually that's in the next week or so is when I'll open up registrations. And usually once I start getting a few registrations, some volunteers will come in. I don't get a lot of outside of family help. It's almost all parent.
Right, yeah.
So usually drag those people in when they sign up.
Yeah.
So I am gonna set up my program a little differently this year. Last year with K2, I had usually set it up with 4 teams. It's set up similar to soccer where everybody shows up at once, but we're all inside Miller Gym, and it's not quite as big as soccer. So in the past, we've had like 4 teams of 7 or 8 and 1 team at each basket, and it kind of worked out. But last year, I think I got up to 44 kids. And so I had 4 teams of 11 at each basket, and it was way too many.
Are you
So-
also with Friendship?
Yeah, Friendship comes too. I think they do a little bit of their own stuff.
Yeah.
But they do, in the past, they've had their own K2 program, but I think last year I got all of them. I don't think they did it last year. So maybe that's why my numbers spiked a little bit. So I talked to Donald, he's the recreation director over in Rockland, and he runs a similar program, and he sets it up so that not everybody's there at the same time. He'll bring 2 people in at a time. And 2 teams.
Yeah.
And then, usually I run, 1st and 2nd grade from 10 to 11. But I'll probably just have to run team 1 and team 2 from 10 to 11, and then teams 3 and 4 from 11 to 12. It'll lengthen my day a little bit, but if it makes a better experience for the kids,
I'll
and
pay you the big-
less chaos, it'd be worth it. So, and that's, I say 44 kids, that's just for 2nd graders. I also had 20 something kindergartners, so there's 60 something kids in the program. They come at a different time. So, yeah, it's been a busy fall.
I've asked enough questions. Anything else on the board?
Just one question,
Yeah.
the 7 weeks, does
Mhm.
that cover the entirety of?
It does not.
the
So we,
time Between
yeah, nope.
school and the start of school?
No, that's like 11 weeks. So maybe 10. So usually it's like August 9th-ish, that it's like the end of that first full week in August is when we wrap up. We're limited a little bit by the school. We use the gym as our home base and they have to refinish the floor. So we can't be in there all summer. I know the ACE program over in Warren, they do go all summer, but they have access, they have a cafeteria in that school that they have access to. So the week can't be in the gym, they're out there and then they're gone a lot. So, yeah, 7 weeks, I mean.
It's good for the kids.
Yeah.
but Not necessarily for the parents who
Yeah.
are working.
Yeah, but we're full. I mean, if I'd say when I used to run the program, it was 9 to 1. That was the program I inherited. It was 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And I have records going back from, I think, even before Kyle's time, where there were like 40, 50 kids in that program. But when I took it over, there were like 10.
Wow.
And it just wasn't profitable at all. It wasn't helping the need. And so we went to the full day, and you see now we have 60 kids, which is great. If our numbers ever dropped and we needed to expand to the whole summer to reach that need, we could, but.
I wasn't thinking so much of the budget as it was of the parents.
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean. Yeah, but I haven't had people asking, I guess is
Okay.
where I'm going with that. They
I mean,
come.
it's really, you really are out for a week. And then we're back in, I mean, I work there, so.
Yeah.
We're back in as staff the third week of August. You can't have a camp running while you have staff on
Yeah.
site, so.
Yeah.
I mean, you're out for the week they do the floor and then staff is back in the building getting ready for
Yeah.
the new school year.
Yeah, and like I said, 7 weeks is a lot. By week 6 and 7, my staff is tired.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of those folks are students themselves,
Yeah.
teachers, so they're, especially if the college students, they're
Yeah.
getting ready to give them a little break too.
Yeah, so I
Good job.
there's other summer camps around that go 8 or 9. A lot go 7, some go 5 or 6. For me, I think 7's the sweet spot, but always open to new ideas.
I think you're running a great program.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Thank you.
Good job, Marcus. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Hey, public hearing, we have none. Citizen comment, any comments from the citizenry of town? Melvin,
Melvin's coming up.
come on up, Melvin.
We'll let you sit.
Not really citizen, but I want to give you a little talk of what the school board does. Since seeing, that's where a majority of our tax dollars go. So back a little over a month ago, the new superintendent of our district decided that he ought to take some of the board members on a tour of Madonna Valley High School. Now, that school was built in the mid-60s, and I didn't realize it's falling down. I mean, we pay a lot of taxes, but the maintenance is piss poor. And I'm going to put it late in the line, just the way I see it. So we ended up out in the seed, where the seed vault is, and the seed vault is known worldwide. It's probably the only place in the world that these heirloom seeds exist. But there's got tile in the ceiling like this, but there ain't one left. Not a one in that ceiling. And I says, what's going on in here? Well, the teacher, Mr. Nally, says, if you was here when it was raining, you wet. I said, what do you mean? He said, the roof is leaking so bad that we can't do nothing in here. These kids are supposed to work at these desks, but it's raining so bad. I said to the superintendent, this got to change. Well, how are we going to do it? I says, we'll do it with volunteers. I says, every project you've had before, you got to have an engineer, then you got to have this, and you got to have that. I said, no, we don't need that. We got a good carpenter on the board, and I'm sure he'll take the lead. He said, "Yeah, no problem, I'll take the lead." Because I think his outfit, where he works, does a lot of business with them. They took $1,000 off the cost of materials, so for less than $5,000, we everything done.
On a cold
So-
morning.
So the other day, it rained like cats and dogs, not this morning, but so the superintendent calls the teacher up. Wants to know how the roof is. Dry in here. So, we're trying to get things done without the taxpayer having to pay a fortune now. We got real problems in the school itself. There's rat holes through cement walls. So we have hired a pest management company to come in and see if we can eliminate the rodents that are running through them buildings. So, we all got problems, but our schools are a problem and we're working on it. So that's what I got to tell you. And I thought maybe some of the other school board members, Waldeboro has 5 of them, and I'm the only one here. Where are they?
Yes, and like, you've seen me at a couple meetings. Mark,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
We were encourage the school boards to come talk to us, not just our board, but the other town board.
Right.
To go talk and explain this bond that's gonna be coming up. We're not waiting till the last.
Well, we, as a school board, we don't even know
You
what this bond's gonna entail
don't
because
have
we
all the
don't.
information yet.
No, we don't have a lot of information. I know there's been a couple engineers. There's an engineering firm that's on retainer that works for the district. And then this new superintendent that we have, he's quite, we've never seen a superintendent act like this one. He was on the roof tearing the shingles off. They give him the worst job of replacing the shingles was he had to separate them all from the bundles and get them to them people. So they worked him. They want to, the school board members that were there, that we want to find out what he is before we hire him or somebody else full-time. Because he's there on an interim basis. Any other questions?
Thank you, Mel.
You tell a good, that was a great report.
Well, I ain't the best public speaker, but I ain't scared of people.
Totally, you gave us data, we understand what's happening.
Any other comments from the citizens? Select board comments.
We got one.
Oh, we got one?
Right
I'm
here.
sorry. Didn't see you back there.
My name's Richard Parker. I live in the village. There was a young fellow who was a carpenter who got a permit. And in my opinion, he shouldn't have got the permit. He got the permit, he's gone. The argument I had with him is over. I believe that if you had to do an air quality control test, the town would not be liable and the abutters would know what's going on. He was not truthful when he got his permit, and his permit allowed him to have 500 pounds of chemicals, which is 70 gallons. What happened? He butts with the Narrows Tavern. They had a grease fire. That's it.
Select board comment.
I'm all set.
Ruben?
So here. Well, good.
I've just got one thing I want to read.
Okay.
You can read those.
Oh, you want me to read it?
We received a card and appreciation. To the town of Waldeboro Select Board, town employees and town manager. I want to thank everyone for their thoughtfulness during the time of Mom's passing. The numerous text messages, phone calls, emails, and face-to-face expression of support during this difficult time will always be appreciated. As most of you know, Mom, who truly loved her community, I know she deeply and truly loved her time when she served as our town clerk for the town of Waldeboro. A special thanks to Tanya for getting me the photos of Mom's service, and Daryl and John for speaking at the service, and God bless you all, Bill Maxwell. Did we miss?
I just want to update everybody on, we are winding down for time to donate to the Waldeboro Toy Program. So I think we had, before I came into the meeting, we had 4 items left on the list. I would consider them necessities. I think it was bedding. So if anybody has not made their purchase, now's a great time. And I picked out things that were on sale. So I'm already saving you money. And we did get one, I did clarify something with a parent. So if anybody would like to donate a fishing pole, we are looking for a fishing pole. In case you haven't noticed, the winter weather is here. Public Works has been out several times. But the last 2 storms have been interesting. South Waldeboro had rain and North Waldeboro had snow one storm. In the last storm, South Waldeboro had snow and North Waldeboro had a much lighter coating, but they were out both times, quite long, actually. So they are out there and around. Just be mindful of the downtown parking ban. And also, we get a lot of interesting Facebook posts. I always love to look at Facebook in the middle of a snowstorm. I had a complaint that down one road, the plow truck had been down 1 time in 18 hours. And that on the same road, 2 houses down, I had somebody send me some of their Ring camera where the plow had been down like 8 times in 18 hours. So you just never know what you're going to find. But they are out there. If you ever have any questions about how they do the routes, what they do, please either call the town office and we'll forward you to Will Pratt, our Public Works Director, or call me and I hopefully can answer those questions. And that's all I have for my report.
About correspondence?
I do have correspondence. I will read, just give you a couple. We got some thank yous. This is the time of year when the organizations that we fund in the budget typically get their check right around November. We received a thank you from Spectrum Generations, and they said, thank you so much for the increased generous support. We appreciate it very much and happy Thanksgiving. And they are the organization that brings nutrition, social engagement, wellness, and independence to our older and disabled residents here in Waldeboro. We also received a nice thank you from New Hope for Midcoast. And they are an organization that provides residential services, emergency sheltering, and short-term and long-term housing for those who are victims of domestic violence. Life Flight of Maine also sent us a thank you for our gift. And they wanted to know that our support matters to Maine, and thank you very much. Happy holidays. And Veggies to Table sent a nice handwritten thank you for the donation. And they just said that at a time when hunger is rising, more Maine families are struggling, and they wanted to say thank you very much for helping. And our own Waldeboro Food Pantry sent a letter to us thanking us for our donation. And they believe that our support makes a real and immediate difference in the lives of our neighbors who are facing food insecurity. So they wanted to say thank you.
About a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Oh,
Oh,
I have the clerk saying something to me. Just a reminder, there's a gingerbread contest going on right here at the town office.
oh,
And we had we have a gingerbread Moody's that was just dropped off in the adult competition. We have 2 chefs in the audience. We just explained we have to make them up their game. So we're really hoping to get some great adult. So we have technically preschool through adult competition. We're going to have to probably put some more tables out there, but it's a lot of fun and we are festive. And I should also mention that the tree in the river should be magically appearing in the near
It's
future.
there, isn't it?
Not yet.
no, that's the one on Stars Wharf.
Oh,
They use
okay.
the-
Yeah, no.
Okay, I saw a post.
Our tree should be appearing.
All right.
The elves have been a little busy plowing snow, but the elves are thinking that in the next few days that a tree will magically appear. We have not forgotten.
You'll be sitting on the iceberg. Motion to approve the consent calendar.
So moved.
Any discussion on that? All in favor? New business. We have no new business. Old business.
That's why we didn't have any new business.
We got our code enforcement officer. We're gonna talk about some different places in town.
All right, we got 4 different properties and unfortunately, none of them are gonna be here tonight. The first one on the agenda was 4 Bremen Road. I've been in contact with the owner of that property. They basically did construction. I found out through PD that they had redone the lower unit in the store. And I met with them, we went over it, and I explained that they need to have a building permit anytime that any construction is done. They have not done any of that. I've sent out numerous notices. I did finally get in touch with and talk to one of the owners today. She could not be here for this meeting. And I told her that we needed to take care of this. So she is hopefully coming in early next week in order to take care of this. If not, what I've done is I told her I would move this and suggest we put it on the next select board meeting so we can take care of that if that doesn't arise.
So with her, it's just a matter of doing the permit.
Yeah, it's basically a overall permit
After
and
the
there's some
fact.
disagreements as far as what it is and there's some egress issues. Again, everything was done. It is complete. There's no plumbing permits, no building permits. There's issues because there's only one means of egress out of one of the rooms. So there's some definite code issues that need to be taken care of. We did discuss, ways that they could do that, but it's expensive and I don't know if they want to necessarily go down that road. So
It's a rental.
yes, in my opinion, it's a rental. It has a bedroom, a bathroom, a kitchen, place for a washer and dryer. In their opinion, it is not. It's a place to just kind of hang out. Irregardless, they still need the permits.
Yeah.
Still need the plumbing permits. None of it was inspected, so it all needs to be opened up so that we can see it. And then the other thing is that the other egress issue has to be taken care of one way or the other. So, and I'm not sure how they're going to do that. Again, I gave them some ideas, but we'll wait and see. So, as far as that one for Bremen Road, we'll pretty much put that one on hold if we can. And then hopefully we can get some type of resolve. The other two, 3499 Atlantic Highway and 3515 Atlantic Highway, they're both owned by Robert Emery. He owns one, his son is in a rental and he is in the other rental, living as his home. He originally wanted to put on a garage on the back of that, the home portion of that, the 3499. The original permit that he came in to get, he basically sent a check, but the check bounced. So talking to Peg on how we handle those situations, her thing is normally when we get something like that, we request that they issue a bank check for any subsequent payments. We have not seen anything, and he has not made any. He did make one attempt to come down, but that did not end up with any type of permitting or anything. So that one is that residence. The other one is the one that we had that was the building that was involved in the fire, that had some issues. He basically was supposed to get a building permit that went you know, a long period of time before he finally came down to get a renovation permit for that. On top of that, we had the payment issue. I issued a stop work order until such a time as we could get, you know, everything taken care of. Before we could even deal with that, he started doing an expansion onto the building towards the Ace Hardware side. So I had a conversation with him about that he needs to put in some type of site plan because we have no idea how far he is away from the property line and it's very close. So he needs to show that it's going to meet the setbacks. And also because it's an addition, he needs to show that, you know, everything is gonna meet the building codes and what is the use? He won't even say what the use is. I have posted that twice and in two different times. And at both times, the postings have been torn down. I have told him that he cannot be working on that without a permit. He's gone from the flooring members being exposed to now the walls are up and there's some coverings on them. So as many times as I've tried to work with him to just explain, he just needs to come in, he needs to fill out the proper paperwork, the permitting, and get that taken care of. It's just not happening. He did call tonight. He could not get a ride here tonight. So I'm not sure what we want to do. Again, I have tried to be as clear as I can. You can't be building without a permit. And there's no plans, there's no anything. So that one I'm kind of upset about because no matter what I do, no matter what I say, it seems to be going on deaf ears. So I don't know if the board wants to take any action or if we want to postpone this for our next meeting as well, and hopefully he can be here and maybe we can get some answers and move from there.
What are our options?
What, was this the one where, so his son doesn't own this, this is him,
Correct.
but wasn't his son, never mind.
His son-in-law
His-
for the one.
Yeah, that
on
was,
North
okay, I was
Shore.
getting those two confused.
Yeah.
You can choose to take action tonight in some form, or you can wait and see if he can make the next meeting and then take action then if you would like.
The only issue I have is Sparks doing everything he can and he's just blowing him off. And
That's the hard part about that is that, you know, I mean,
and I know you give people way more latitude than they probably deserve. Because as long as they're doing something correctly, you leave them alone. Doesn't care. I mean, I think that's similar to the same project, not that far away, far up the road from that place. Guy didn't care, gonna do whatever he wanted. And we wound up caught up with that one, and we won, so I mean. I think this is the same situation, I just don't know how we set that up. Or fine, or do we do? Have you done stop work orders on it?
oh yeah, multiple times. And
On
then
that, on that one facility?
in one in particular, I went back the next day and it was gone. And then the following time that I posted it, within 2 days, it was still on the wall temporarily, but somebody had pulled the top off so that you couldn't read it from the road. And then within a week it was gone, so. And then there's two, there's one for the garage, which is on the 3499. And then the 35,
Is it all the
50,
same piece of property, just two different addresses?
two different lots, two
Oh, it
different
is two different
addresses.
lots?
Correct,
Okay.
Yeah.
Two different owners, the same owner?
same owner.
So do we have to do a fine for both of them, or whatever we do?
You could do a fine for one and not the other, you could do a fine for both.
How long has this been going on?
It's the initial. The initial,
See.
oh,
See.
sorry, September, if I memory serves me right.
I know it's.
He was notified September 17th about the check that was through PEG. And his notice of violation, the first one went out on September 16th. And that was after verbal, verbal stuff as well. I mean, I basically made contact verbally and stopped in and actually saw him on the job site.
But we've dealt with a 3515 with regard to the damage
Cleaning up.
from
Cleaning it
from
up.
the fire. We dealt with that for the last year and a half.
So here we are, that's 3 months later from this, the last thing you had to do.
Yeah, it's just like I said, I mean, it's,
We
it's just a
could offer him a
compliance issue.
ride to the next meeting.
I'll get him on the way.
I was gonna say, you could pick him up on the way.
I was getting ice cream there before that place burned down. Not that I need it.
Just a thought.
Well, I guess how nice do we want to be? We want to wait 2 more weeks and talk to this person? I mean, then you're going into Christmas. How bad are we gonna feel then? Or is there an action we take now?
Well, on a good note, I don't think there's gonna be a lot of construction going on at this time with the cold and snow and the weather.
And I'm
So
not-
that's something that, you might want to consider.
Yeah, and that's fair. I guess I'm thinking about all the things that have been ignored. I don't. Like Abden said, you're real good to people. You're a real reasonable human, and I don't like seeing you sort of run over this way. That's what's getting to me.
And you're willing to pick him up.
Yeah, absolutely. We can talk about that after if you want to help me make that contact. That's not an empty thing. I literally have to drive by it. I'm at Ace probably once a week getting, man, I don't know if you guys have mice in your house. I've given Ace a lot of money for mouse traps. I'm right there.
It's that date.
The coon cat caught a mouse. It was in the trap.
That's one smart cat.
So I say I would recommend we postpone to the 22nd.
Okay. That's a legit open offer. If you want to reach out, I will pick somebody up. If I'm
Yeah,
not
no,
available.
that's fine. No, I'm totally fine with that. The only thing that I would suggest and we can go over it at that point in time, but at this point, I think we would need to enter a consent agreement with that individual and timelines and everything else because
Yeah.
it just hasn't worked. So that would be the only way to hold him to, some type of timeline and making sure that this gets done.
At least get the permits done.
Yeah.
The last one I have is, forgive me, I think I might have given the wrong address to Pam, but it's actually 1207 Winslow Mills Road. This one, we had a order to appear back July 22nd. The person did not follow up. I did have a conversation. It's Bruce Roll at 1207 Winslow Mills Road. I had the conversation and I reported to you that he had somebody lined up with a dumpster and was going to crush that and then get rid of all the trash. Nothing has happened since that point in time. When I hand delivered his notice to appear, he basically had indicated that he was not going to show. And he was not happy about having to appear in front of you. With that being said, I don't know what we can possibly do to encourage him to get this done. It definitely is going to need a backhoe in order to get rid of the dilapidated single wide and then, get rid of the rest of the stuff that's there. So out of all the violations that we had there, which was automobiles, trash, and then the dilapidated single wide, the only thing that's been corrected to this point is he is now down to the allowable 2 unregistered, uninspected vehicles. So, but other than that, nothing has been done.
One thing that bothers me on this one is the fact that a couple, 3-4 months ago, we were promised there was gonna be
Yes.
dumpsters and an excavator there to take care of that that single wide that's sitting in the bushes. And this was brought to us by a neighbor.
Several neighbors.
Several neighbors on this,
They were actually here at a
Yeah.
meeting complaining.
right?
I was hopeful that we were gonna have this one taken care of, but unfortunately, we haven't seen much movement.
And assistance has been offered.
That was gonna be my next question, so thank you.
options on this one? We'll see the fine, but
We have basically two options. We have the legal route and we have the fines. I don't know if one or the other is more, you know, is going to produce a different result. I don't know.
probably legal would be more. My inclination is go the legal route, because that way we got the courts that are telling it has to get done, correct?
And
I
the
don't
courts
think-
will or may impose fines depending on what the town wants to do as well.
I think that the fine won't matter.
Right, so that's what I'm saying, the legal route.
I don't disagree with that.
I think many people have approached and tried their very best to explain and offer assistance.
Make that motion. To do the legal actions on that property,
So move.
discussion on it. In favor?
That is all I have for you.
Thanks for getting in.
Thanks.
Agenda items for the next meeting.
I
Oh,
have
am I
one.
missing something?
Yes, I forgot to ask you. I was supposed to ask you. So as you know, on the 23rd, we're handing out our Christmas baskets that we do every year. And Public Works every year comes up and they carry the baskets to the car. On Thanksgiving, when we did the Thanksgiving baskets, it was a little chilly. So Will had a wonderful idea that we could have a barrel going out front and roast chestnuts. And maybe marshmallows, I don't know. But that way the guys could stay because we keep all the meat.
Can't do it on a barrel, because that's, you can't.
Oh, is that illegal?
That's illegal.
Oh, never mind. Well, if we can
Check-
think
check
of
with
a
the fire-
thing, if
fire
we can
chief.
think of a way to burn something, maybe
Charcoal.
You
something.
could do a
You can do
a
a
burn
campfire.
pit, a burn pit,
Do a
you know,
campfire
one of those small
in a
burn
pit.
pits. But
Okay.
just don't use a barrel, because
We won't use a barrel. We'll do a
Zero.
fire, like a
Just-
fire
yeah,
pit thing.
Get with the fire chief.
Okay, I'll get with the fire chief, but we thought then we could roast some chestnuts because they smell really good roasted and they apparently taste quite well when they're roasted.
There's that whole song.
And the guys can keep warm because we keep the meat in a trailer out front so that it doesn't get heated. So
What day are you doing this?
that will be the 22nd.
No, from there.
23rd.
23rd.
That's why we moved our meeting to the
Yes,
22nd.
yes, the 23rd, that's right. The 23rd,
So just give the fire chief, see what you can.
but
burn
you
out
guys
there.
would be okay with that. Okay.
Mhm.
We're gonna try to make it festive, maybe have some Christmas music playing, maybe some hot chocolate, things like that. So, trying to be festive. Roasting,
Don't burn tires.
no,
Agenda items for the next meeting, which is gonna be the 22nd.
She got
I
something
had one
else.
other thing I wanted to
I
say.
thought you wanted to burn a tire.
I want to thank the Lions Club. The Lions Club, they had this amazing fundraiser, and the winner got a cord of wood. And the winner of the cord of wood generously donated it to a family in Waldeboro
Thanks.
who needed wood. And I will tell you that this went to a family who was very appreciative. I got a call today about another family that was, unfortunately, their truck's broken down, they're seniors, and they needed a cord of wood. So I was inquiring to the winner of this cord of wood from the Lions Club about, hey, do you happen to know where they got the wood so that maybe I could call them and see if we can get wood for this family? And the person who donated the cord of wood, the first cord of wood to the Lions, is generously donating another cord of wood. And that's the kind of
Wow.
stuff that happens here. It's neighbors helping neighbors, and how amazing. I want to thank the Lions Club for all that they do. And this has been a really cold week. It's been a very busy week for me as the general assistance person. And it just warms my heart when our residents step up and help each other. I think it's one of the most amazing things about being in government is I get to see firsthand what an amazing community we have. So I'm gonna shut up now. I'm done.
Oh, sorry, that's something.
I just, Julie, she'll sit here and tote everyone else and, raise them up. But I don't really think that the majority of people realize how much time, effort, and, work that she puts into this whole thing. Out there, shopping for the kids, wheeling and dealing, trying to make sure that everybody gets what it is that, they need, from jackets to, everything. It's just incredible. I mean, go look at what's in her office and go look at what's, the stuff that's done in my office. It's amazing. And my hat is off to her for everything she does. And, I think it really bodes to, where her heart is and what she does. So thank you.
Thank you.
Julie.
Thank you. Try.
Mr. Williams.
So I heard Julie say at the beginning of the meeting that she was in need of a fishing pole. I have one. It's not brand new, but it's something I dragged home from some auction. And I'm hearing about it every day that all you do is drag home junk. It's not junk. And while I'm talking, the real bad news was today. Because Mr. Melvin Williams ordered oil a month ago from C.N. Brown. They come this morning, they never hooked the hose to the pipe, said we're not delivering the oil because the whistle don't blow. So I called the furnace man, to find out why the whistle ain't blowing.
Change your
He
whistle,
comes, charges me $100, nothing wrong with it.
frozen.
So I called C.N. Brown up at a little afternoon time, and I says, I don't know where you're getting your information, but the furnace man was here, charged me $100, and I'd like to be reimbursed for it because there's nothing wrong with it. So as you people know, the boy down the road that wears the kilt helped me quite a bit. He shows up. We take a 40-gallon tank that I have that has a pump on it. We go down and we fill it from the bulk tanks I have with diesel fuel, and we're putting it in the furnace. That truck shows up. We get 5 gallons pumped in, and that truck shows up and they fill the tank. So if you don't complain, and I know you do business with them, Abden, but they want their money before they hook the hose on the pipe. Now, I'm sure Abden pays his bill, and I know I pay mine. And that will probably be the last oil they deliver there.
Thank you.
I have nothing for next meeting.
Next meeting, we have code enforcement, those 2 properties we talked about. I think that's it. Cause that's gonna be on the 22nd.
We may have,
Something will come up.
you may have a grant application that you have to give your
Okay.
approval to, but we'll see if we get it all done.
Make a motion to adjourn this meeting and go into the Board of Assessors.
Are you taking a break?
We can take,
We can.
we can take a 5-minute,
I need to know if I need to shut off the.
yeah, take a 5-minute break.
Okay.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Okay, take a 5-minute break, then we'll go into Board of Assessors.
Oh, boy. Well, we got a side conversation going on.
Yeah,
Pam, take your conversation to the hallway. Is that rude?
There you go, guys.
All right.
No, I know, you don't.
All right, we're calling this meeting to order despite the side conversation.
Melvin.
Go that way because we're having a Board of Assessors meeting and you're on mic. Thanks.
Too loud, I know.
All right, I'm gonna say we do not have any citizen comment on items not on the agenda or on the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the consent calendar from our regular meeting on October 28th, 2025?
Second.
Any discussion, changes, amendments to that? Seeing none, all those in favor? All right, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
All right, so 30 and 31, John Farah had a Kubota that he sold, and then he got a Ford. So would like to abate half the 10,000 that I had on the new Kubota versus the older Ford.
Do you want to handle these as one motion or do you want to handle them as we go? Which you know the list better than I do.
We can do them one at a time and just whip down through them if
Okay. All right,
those two are the same.
those two are the
are
same.
two
So can
different
I get a
years.
motion on
Um,
411
I'll
and
make the motion to
412?
approve that.
Second.
Further discussion? Those in favor?
Next one, Craig Lewis got a 1968 International, but it didn't run and would like us to abate that off. He parted it out or sold it or whatever it's going.
I'll make the motion to approve. Second.
Any discussion? Those in favor?
The next one was Pat Ripley, was based on the new map, would be a difference of 1,000.
I'll make motion. to Approve it.
Second.
Those in favor?
Okay.
This one here looks interesting.
This one here is down in Back Cove. And it's owned by a Pensco Trust Company. And Lynn Crowell is the individual that handles that, and each year they do a comparative market analysis, which was prepared from Jessica Pooley for $150, and they indicated that the value based on 4 sales in Waldeboro was 100,000 for this piece of property. She compared it to 2 up on the stream, Manomic River up on Winslow's Mills, Wayne Brown's old fields that sold. And then she compared it to one on Friendship Road that had a long, narrow sliver to the water. The house was up on the road. And then the one down that they brought 3 properties together, the one that they compared it with, couldn't get access to 220, but they bought it with an abutting lot, combined everything down by Lowell Wallace's, just before Lowell Wallace's, if you're familiar with the old house that had to be torn apart. And the one before that, they tore the house down and they got a foundation there, but basically just don't even compare whatsoever for a nice lot down at the end of Back Cove where you're right on the water.
That's where I was confused when I was reading this thing. How did you compare those to that?
None. There's no comparison. It states right on here that she's not a licensed appraiser. It's not an appraisal, and it's only for the purposes. The opinion or appraisal was prepared solely for the client for the purposes of the function stated in the report and not intended for subsequent use. It was not prepared by a licensed or certified appraiser and may not comply with the appraisal standards of the uniform standards, which it does.
So it might as well not exist.
Right.
So basically, she used that as a comparison. I guess her big concern is they own the property next door that is able to have a dock and get to the water. So what she was really comparing is saying that, this property is nowhere near the value because it's mud. the difference between a property on the Madomic River, they're all at the same price, except that if you do have a dock, we add a $40,000 access value to the land and add the value of the dock to it. So probably goes up 100,000. And I guess she's saying that's, you know, if my good lot's worth 300, this one is not worth 300 in essence. But I would recommend no change on this. It's priced the same as all other property and seems to be reflective of what they're selling when they sell. It went from 180 to 305. She's requesting a reduction of 125. Which is again kind of interesting. If we value it at 305 and your market analysis says it's only worth 100, why are you saying it's worth 200?
Yeah. What's, how many acres is this?
So it's 3 acres, 0.76.
It's on, is it on Back River or on Back Cove? On Madomic River.
So,
It looks like.
so I got a picture of it.
On the Back River, yeah.
Well, the interesting thing is right to the cove of 37, we did the new maps, lot 37B actually goes from a line there to that cove that away. So this whole point has a dock on it and everything,
Yep.
which
Yep.
would indicate it's on this land.
Camper sitting there.
But yeah,
Yep.
but they do not have a survey, but they utilize it. They own both. They're 2 different names.
Yep.
But yes, it's beyond the back where all the docks are.
I'll make a motion to have no change to that.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Is this appealable? Or is this the appeal?
Well, the next step would be they would go to the commissioners. So we'd go over to the county and they would present the data and I'd present the data and then the commissioners would rule and then it could go to court.
She really gonna go to court for 18?
I don't know, possibly.
Only pro se. One would hope. Okay, yeah.
Anything else? Those in favor?
The next one is Dan Brinkles and the map was wrong, big time. The abutting property owned it, so that would be the 11,000.
Yeah, that was pretty. Make a motion to approve. Second.
Those in favor?
Niles Lund removed a deck a few years ago. That would be a difference of $74. It was a big deck. It was 8 by 32.
Sounds like a wraparound porch almost.
I don't think you should get rid of a deck for that big.
Well,
I guess it depends on the condition.
yeah, no, it doesn't. Treated wood doesn't last forever. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Those in favor?
The Blue Cottage is out on Sidens Parker, Goshen Road. And that was a mapping that had the abutting property on there, so it made a difference. 2,000.
You keep talking about these the mapping, there's been some mapping questions. Is that something that gets updated with the mapping company or however you do it?
Well,
You're seeing discrepancies?
well, I have done the maps. We use the O'Donnell maps from 1960 and I have done them for the last 43 years. And now we've gone and marked up the $10,000 grant to put the digitalized ones, which were done in 2007, and these hadn't come out as revised in 2007. So I went with the numbers, doing a new land deal. The were much more accurate, but they have fixed it much more better from 07 to 2025. But they didn't come out before I had sent the bills. So
Yeah.
now we're redoing them. And he's fixed all the areas.
I'd like to make a motion on that one.
Oh, blue card, I'll make that motion.
Second.
If the math is wrong, right?
Yes.
Kind of have to give him that one. Those in favor?
You'd love to have the cottage that was on there, but. Freddie Storers went up 45 acres with the new maps, much more consistent, but he is under the farmland and would like the farmland rates not taxed at the $1,000 an acre, so that's the difference of the 30,000. You ought to add another zero to
Yeah, I was gonna
that,
say,
not
what-
3.
His
it's
tax
30.
rate must be really high. He's got 3.
No, it's 30,000
30,000,
difference under
okay.
farmland rates versus.
Okay,
Didn't catch that one.
that's okay.
That motion?
Second.
This is a real farm. They at least do haying or something?
They have to say that, they have to show it,
It's,
right?
it's 305 acres. There is some hay there. There's an apple tree, but as long as he donates a bale to a farmer, he can come under the farmland versus the tree growth. He is really growing trees and harvesting trees, but he doesn't want to pay a forester to do a plan and keep
The
that up.
official
And
plan,
so he
yeah,
gets
sure.
out of doing the forest plan by calling it a farm.
Okay.
We've
But-
covered.
The main thing is growing timber, selling boards.
All right,
I'll make the motion to approve. What's
Ru-
that?
Ruben did and John seconded.
Second.
Oh, okay.
those in favor?
Sorry.
It's okay.
All right, now we got a couple of Fred Besses. The first one was the house that was condemned, which is out on the Goshen Road that nobody's supposed to be in. I don't believe they are, but he would like a reduction on that one. Back to treating it as a shed, not as a home, because it's not to be lived in. Unless it's totally renovated, which he's not gonna do.
Okay, you got propane tanks out there.
Took me a second to realize you used the return address label. I was wondering why you had to do that one paperwork. Our move.
It's not livable, not worth bringing up to code to rent, so it's unrent.
Okay, is this a derelict property? Does he have to remove it?
Nope, no, he doesn't have to remove it, but he can't be letting people occupy it. Mostly. He caught people there, but they've gone now. Oh, they're just. They're not staying there, they're just. There.
I'll make the motion to approve the 2 best abatements.
The first one?
You wanna, I mean, I don't mind handling them together. I just want to hear from you about the second
Yeah,
one.
so the second
That's
one
okay.
is a mobile home he bought from Shane Woods that needs to be removed, not to be lived in. He already paid the first half, so I wouldn't abate any more than the second half only.
And
And see that by next April, it either is gone or out of there.
it's in the park,
No, this is out
Oh,
on,
it's-
Goshen Road.
Goshen Road.
this is down on his rentals on Goshen Road.
Okay,
Is the amount you have written down? The
Is
amount
half.
that's remaining? Okay.
Yeah.
all right. Now I'd like to entertain a motion, Mike, for both of those together.
Okay,
Just,
number 10, and number 11. Make a motion to approve.
okay.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor?
To get some of his fine back.
Yes. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do in life. So it goes. All right.
Mark Rex has a property that he's building up on the Petrovich Lane, which is off in Old Augusta Road, and was unfinished on April 1st. That's what that one is.
that a common thing? I don't know, I've seen a home unfinished before.
Yeah, it's, some people never finish them, but
Okay.
so every April you go back and see if they've done anything more. But some houses out there are half, you do a percentage as of April 1st.
So that's not particularly unusual or anything.
No, and I'm usually there May, June, so it's kind of tough to tell, has he been working on it, what was done in April? And you don't get in and what isn't done, so you take a stab at it, and he said, well, no, this wasn't done, that wasn't done.
Make that motion.
Second.
It's a lived-in property that's 60% unfinished.
Well, he's there in the summer, he doesn't live in it
Oh,
full time,
Okay,
it's a,
he only lives in it 40% of the time.
While he's
so-
working on it.
he's from Sanford.
Okay,
I don't know if he'll move there year round or
Alright.
not, but it's kind of a
okay,
tiny house,
I think-
16 by 44. 1 story on post.
okay. I have a first and a second, so. All those in favor?
So the next one is Trevor Miller. He bought from Seth Hall
Seth Hall
across from the
house.
post office. And
Mm.
when he bought it, it needed everything, needed floors, needed windows, needed a roof,
Well, you can build a new house.
tore the
Yeah.
back all off. Put it back on. It's not complete. I have it at 60%, but he just thought to go from 1,300 when he owned it to 5,200 is just crazy, but it is what it is, I think.
I mean, there's a fairly big addition on the back where they
Yes.
tore down the old barn. He
Yes.
put up a pretty good size.
Yeah, really big. It did new foundation and everything.
Cause he thought his taxes were gonna be $1,300 a year.
I assume he spent over 200,000 there, but maybe he hasn't. I don't know, but they did all the roofing, did the siding.
Oh, yeah.
did the windows.
Easily.
Did that new addition.
More than that.
Were there
It-
rules they had to follow for historical building or whatever? I always assumed that, but no one said that.
If it was technically certified by they would take the historical value, historical part of it off if they changed it.
I believe in the code, there always was, they were supposed to follow, but I mean, like, people put vinyl siding on and that's not historically siding, so
Yeah.
it gets a little. I believe if you were in the neighborhood and wanted to push it, you could challenge, but nobody ever has.
Okay.
It's been on there for 40 years and nobody looks at it.
Curious.
Yeah, we just call it the historic village, yeah.
How many square feet is the building itself?
So the house is 1,209 and that's 2 stories with an unfinished attic, and then he added 1,080 for the 1 story part to the garage, which is 576. Put a new roof on, insulated, wired. Built $1,000, 1,000 square foot addition.
On town water and sewer, it's easily worth $352,000. Easily. I'll make a motion to deny.
Those in favor?
And again, they can go to the county.
Yep.
We'll review it with the county. The next one is another fascinating one. This is the condos over there and Alberta Walters' son, is it Barry? Basically challenges that we shouldn't be able to value any land to them because he says they don't have a deed. Well, their deed is a warranty deed for Unit 4, Building A. And the land value is divvied up amongst all of those over there, all 8 of them. It was at 19,000, it went to 65,000, which is the value of use of a well, or town water, town sewer, a lot, what have you. And his argument is you take 65,000 times 8, you got $520,000. And that land isn't worth 520,000 which it probably would cost you that to develop those condominium eight
Gonna say,
lots.
if you've got that, those many units on there with all the infrastructure and stuff connected to it.
So, he's saying you should tax the association. That's generally not the wisest, because then if the association doesn't pay the taxes, the town owns the
Condo, yeah.
association. They have all the units, so I know no reason why we can't separate the land from the building. I mean, we could in the future put it all under building. But basically, there's been the 3 recent sales are in 22, there was one for 250. In 23, there was one for 235, and then the last one was 287.5 and 24. And she was valued at the 195 plus 31, 226, which is below what they're selling.
Blow all 3 of those. And those were a few years ago.
Make a motion to go with your recommendation, no change.
Second.
Any further discussion? Those in favor?
The last 3 are for next year. There's one for farmland, one for open space, and one for exempt as affordable housing. Farmland is the one on Ledges Circle. The open space is the Stark was under farmland. We'd like to get out of farmland and put it over to open space. That has Madomic Valley Land. Or
Yeah, we just did something.
Mid Coast.
Conservancy on that.
And then the affordable housing is the 3rd one that the Stepping Stones has bought. And this one is up at 720 Winslow's Mills, a mobile home. And they submitted their application.
The recommendations on those 3?
Just approval.
720. goes to those.
Percy Merrifield had it and rented it out.
Yeah.
He bought it from Daryl Flagg back in 03.
Yep.
For 20,000. We sold it for 129.
If only we knew, right?
Good for them, my gosh. We didn't retire all together or?
You're gonna approve them all, you could bundle them in one month.
Being through all 3?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Those in favor?
Hey.
Anything further?
They got an interesting one yesterday, which you'll have in the future.
Okay.
The solar farm out on Mangtown Run. I tried if they had applied for the Betty, because it was not up and operable on April 1st, they could have been totally exempt. We would have got a half back on the Betty. I couldn't get anybody to give me anything anyways. So they didn't get that, so I went ahead and taxed them basically at 2 million, and they're saying where it wasn't functioning April 1st, it should be just the cost of the equipment sitting on the ground on April 1st, which is 800,000. So they want a $19,000 abatement. But we're probably somewhere in between. I don't know. It was a $4 million project and we added it too. I don't know exactly where they were April 1st. I know when I was out there, Coots was running the lines to get down there. Everything seemed to be up and running. But anyways, we'll pursue that with revision.
Wonderful.
You can have fun with that
I
one.
can hardly wait. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
They are just so busy, they can't.
All right. Can we get a vote on that? All in favor, all in favor of adjourning? Unless somebody wants to discuss it.
We're gonna shut that thing off. Oh, yeah, see, I want to hear a question.